They're selling this in health food stores as liquid joint support, but a devastating new lab report is calling it one of the biggest lies in the wellness aisle. What if the very health drink you're using to ease your aches and stiffness is secretly loading your body with inflammatory triggers that make the problem worse? For thousands of years, across countless cultures, our ancestors had a secret. They would patiently simmer bones for days to create what was known as a living elixir. This wasn't just food, it was fundamental nourishment. The slow, gentle heat unlocked a powerhouse of gelatin, a protein that acted as the essential building block for their joints, their gut lining, and their lifelong vitality. This rich, collagen-filled broth was the key to moving freely and living well, even into old age. It was nature's ultimate repair formula. But that ancient secret has been stolen, industrialized, and betrayed. That 2024 lab analysis I mentioned didn't just find disappointing results, it uncovered a silent scandal. The report concluded that over 90% of the bone broths sitting on supermarket shelves are what we now classify as dead broths. Let that sink in. 9 out of 10. And here is the part that should make you angry. These dead broths aren't just useless. They are often actively inflammatory. This means the very liquid you're sipping to soothe your aching joints, the very ritual you're doing to take control of your health, could be quietly working against you, aggravating the inflammation that causes pain and stiffness in the first place. You are not just wasting your hard-earned money on a product that does nothing. You are potentially sabotaging your own comfort and mobility with every single sip. This isn't about getting older, it's about being systematically misled. Now, I want you to do something right now. Think about the bone broth in your pantry, your fridge, or the one you've been thinking about buying. If you have consumed any store-bought bone broth in the last month, I need you to type these 2 words in the comments below right now. Broth buyer. Let's see the true scale of this deception. Let's see how many of us have been tricked by a promise that was never real. If you typed broth buyer in the comments, you're already seeing the scale of this. Now, you are about to learn the truth that separates the healing, living elixirs from the worthless, dead broths. This isn't a small issue. It's a massive deception affecting millions of people who are just trying to feel better. But now, you are about to learn the truth that separates the healing, living elixirs from the worthless, dead broths. It all comes down to one single, magical ingredient that modern processing systematically destroys. The entire joint-supporting, gut-healing power of authentic bone broth hinges on one miraculous substance: gelatin. You need to think of gelatin not as a powder in a dessert, but as the biological glue that holds your body's infrastructure together. Inside your joints, gelatin provides the essential scaffolding that your body uses to repair and maintain the cushioning cartilage that prevents bone-on-bone grinding. It's the key component of the connective tissue that gives your tendons and ligaments their strength and flexibility. In your gut, it helps form a protective, soothing lining that can calm inflammation and aid digestion. This is the profound, ancient wisdom behind the living elixir. But here is the modern tragedy. The high-heat pasteurization and intense pressure used to make broth shelf-stable for a year or more completely shatters this delicate, complex gelatin matrix. It denatures the proteins, breaking them down into useless fragments that your body can't use for repair. This is what we call the gelatin gap, the catastrophic void between what your joints need and what these dead broths actually deliver. What you are left with is a watery, inert liquid that might taste vaguely like broth, but provides zero of the structural support your body is desperately asking for. It's like trying to build a brick wall without any mortar. The materials are there, but they have nothing to hold them together. So, how can you, in less than 10 seconds and with absolute certainty, know whether you're holding a potent, living elixir, or a worthless, dead broth? The answer is not on the label. The marketing lies. The ingredients list can be misleading. The only thing that tells the truth is the broth itself. And the truth is revealed in your refrigerator. I call this the definitive jar test, and it's the single most important thing you will learn today. Here's all you do. Take any broth, whether you made it, bought it from the shelf, or got it from the fridge section, and pour it into a clear glass jar. Place that jar in your refrigerator and leave it overnight, for at least 8 to 12 hours. In the morning, you will have your answer. If you open the fridge and see a solid, wobbly, cohesive jelly, if you can turn the jar upside down and the contents don't move, you are holding a living elixir. That beautiful, firm jelly is the visual, undeniable proof of a rich gelatin content. It is the physical manifestation of liquid joint support. But if you open the fridge and see a watery liquid, maybe with a little loose fat on top, or a weak, broken gel that sloshes in the jar, you are looking at a dead broth. It failed the test. It doesn't have the structural integrity to support your joints because its magic has been processed out of existence. This simple, free jar test is your ultimate power. It makes you the inspector. It makes you the expert. No company can hide from this test. Now that you are armed with the truth of the jar test, it's time to expose the 3 biggest fakes poisoning the wellness aisle. We begin with the most common, the most deceptive, and for many, the most disappointing. Fake number 1, the shelf-stable fake. This is the broth you see in the colorful, beautifully designed cardboard boxes, lined up neatly in the soup aisle of your grocery store. It's marketed with words like organic, premium, ancestral, and simmered for 24 hours. The packaging is designed to make you feel like you're holding a box of pure, traditional wisdom. But this is the ultimate imposter. To understand the betrayal, you have to understand the science of shelf stability. For a liquid food product to sit on a warm warehouse shelf, then a grocery store shelf, and then in your pantry for a year or more without spoiling, it must be rendered biologically inert. It must be made dead. This is achieved through a brutal process called ultra-high temperature, UHT, pasteurization. The broth is blasted with extreme heat, far beyond what any home cook would ever use, for a specific period designed to annihilate every single microorganism. The problem is, this thermal onslaught doesn't just kill potential pathogens, it systematically shreds the very thing we're after: the delicate, triple helix structure of the collagen and gelatin. It shatters the gelatin matrix into tiny, dysfunctional fragments that your body cannot reassemble or use. The shelf-stable fake is literally designed to fail the jar test. It is physically incapable of turning into that solid, wobbly jelly because the ingredient required to make that happen has been processed out of existence. You are left with a vaguely savory, salty water that has been fortified with natural flavors and yeast extract to trick your palate into thinking it's rich and complex. You are drinking the ghost of a broth, a nutritional shell of what it promises to be. This isn't a theory. I saw the consequences firsthand with Barbara, a vibrant 68-year-old who was determined to manage her joint stiffness naturally. She committed to a daily ritual of drinking one of these popular, shelf-stable bone broths, believing she was giving her body a healing gift. After 3 consistent months, not only had the nagging stiffness in her knees and fingers not improved, but she also developed a new problem: recurring, dull headaches in the afternoons. She was confused and disheartened. How could something so pure be making her feel worse? When we investigated, the culprit was clear. The natural flavors and high sodium content in her daily broth were causing subtle dehydration and inflammatory responses, and the complete lack of bioavailable gelatin meant her joints were getting zero structural support. She was pouring time, money, and hope into a product that was, at best, doing nothing, and at worst, adding to her body's burden. Her story is the story of millions. So, here is your first mission. I want you to press pause on this video. I am completely serious. Get up, walk to your pantry, and open the door. Scan the shelves. I want you to look for those colorful boxes, those Tetra packs of bone broth. Find one. Pull it out and look it in the eye. Read the label. See the words that promise health and vitality. And now, I want you to come back here and type one single word in the comments below. If you found a box of shelf-stable bone broth in your pantry, type this word, shelf-stable. Let's expose the scale of this first deception. Let's see how many of us have been fooled by the imposter in the pretty box. That's the first, fake broth. Now, let's expose an even more insidious trick. This one that preys on our desire for convenience and simplicity. This is fake number 2, the powdered fake. If the shelf-stable broth is the imposter in a pretty box, then the powdered version is the ultimate betrayal of the quick and easy health hack. It's sold to us in tidy tubs or single-serving packets with bold promises of 20 grams of protein and gut-repairing collagen, making it seem like the most efficient way to get your daily dose of joint support. You just scoop, stir, and heal, or so you're led to believe. The truth behind that powder is a process so destructive it makes the shelf-stable pasteurization look gentle. To transform a liquid broth into a stable, free-flowing powder that won't clump into a solid brick in your cupboard, manufacturers use a method called spray drying. This involves blasting the liquid broth through a superheated nozzle, turning it into a fine mist that is instantly cooked at temperatures that can exceed 400 degrees Fahrenheit in a matter of seconds. It is a violent, dehydrating inferno. This intense thermal shock doesn't just damage the delicate gelatin and collagen proteins, it completely obliterates their bioactivity. The complex, three-dimensional structures that your body recognizes and uses for repair are denatured into a chaotic, scrambled mess of broken peptides. The living, healing matrix of the broth is literally incinerated and turned to dust. You are not stirring a potent, living elixir into your mug. You are dissolving a cup of inflammatory, denatured particles that your body struggles to process. And because the resulting powder is often devoid of flavor and prone to clumping, these products are frequently loaded with anti-caking agents like silicon dioxide and flavor enhancers like maltodextrin, which can spike blood sugar and irritate the gut lining. It is a nutritional disaster disguised as a convenience. This isn't just a logical conclusion, it's a proven fact. An independent lab analysis commissioned to test the validity of these products focused on the leading bone broth powders. The findings were shocking. The analysis revealed that most products contained less than 2% of the collagen content that was boldly advertised on their front labels. You are paying a premium price for a minuscule fraction of the promised active ingredient, the rest being filler, flavoring, and the charred remains of what was once a nutritious broth. It is a complete and total failure of the jar test. You cannot create a solid jelly from a powder that has had its gelling properties annihilated by extreme heat. This powdered fake represents the darkest side of the wellness industry, where marketing completely divorces itself from reality and sells us hope in a conveniently packaged lie. It's the illusion of health, ground down into a fine, deceptive dust. So, your next mission is clear. I want you to go back to that pantry of yours, or maybe your supplement cabinet. Look past the boxes now and search for a tub, a jar, or little foil packets of bone broth powder. Find that container that promises a quick fix. Now, I want you to come back here and type one word into the comments. If you found, or have ever used, a powdered bone broth, type this word right now. Powder. Let's reveal the staggering number of people who have been seduced by the convenience trap and show the world that this quick and easy solution is one of the biggest scams in the health food aisle today. The shelf-stable and powdered comments tell a story of modern deception, but our final villain is the most treacherous of all because it wears a mask of tradition and trust. This is fake number 3, the canned fake. This is the broth that feels timeless. It's the one your grandmother might have used, the familiar red and white can that has been a kitchen staple for generations. It represents comfort, reliability, and a simpler time. And that is precisely why its betrayal cuts the deepest. The classic, trusted canned broth you remember from decades ago is a ghost. The recipe has been fundamentally altered to cut costs and extend shelf life, transforming a potential source of nourishment into a direct attack on your joint comfort. The first fatal flaw is the canning process itself. To ensure safety and stability inside the sealed metal tin, the broth is subjected to a high-heat sterilization process that is, just like the shelf-stable versions, brutal enough to systematically dismantle the delicate gelatin network. The very structure that gives real broth its therapeutic power is liquefied and rendered useless. But the modern canned fake adds a second, more insidious ingredient to this nutritional crime. Flip that can over and read the label. You will likely find an ingredient that never belonged in traditional broth, inflammatory vegetable oils. You will see canola oil, soybean oil, or other industrial seed oils listed. Why would they put oil in your bone broth? The answer is as cynical as it is simple: to replace the mouthfeel and richness that was lost when they destroyed the natural gelatin. They are literally trying to mimic the texture of a quality broth with cheap, pro-inflammatory fillers. These oils are notoriously high in omega-6 fatty acids, which, when consumed in excess, are known to drive systemic inflammation in the body. The very same inflammation that manifests as joint pain, stiffness, and swelling. So, you are not just drinking a dead broth, you are drinking a broth that has been actively loaded with a substance that scientific studies, such as those published in the Journal of Nutrition and Metabolism, have linked to exacerbating inflammatory pathways. You are pouring a double whammy of disappointment and aggravation into your soup pot, directly undermining your goal of achieving comfort and mobility. I witnessed the profound impact of this with Frank, a sharp 72-year-old who used canned broth as the base for his beloved homemade soups for years. It was a weekly ritual he cherished. Yet, he couldn't understand why his fingers were so stiff and clumsy every morning, making simple tasks like buttoning his shirt a frustrating ordeal. He blamed it squarely on just getting older. As a test, we had him eliminate the canned broth for just 2 weeks, switching to water or homemade stock for his soups. The result wasn't subtle. He called me, amazed, reporting that the morning stiffness in his hands had been reduced by at least half. The constant, low-grade ache in his knees had significantly diminished. The culprit wasn't his age, it was the daily slow drip of inflammatory oils and the complete absence of restorative gelatin from the canned fake he had trusted for so long. His body was finally free to calm down. This is the wolf in sheep's clothing, hiding in plain sight in pantries across the country. So, for your final investigative mission, I want you to go back to that pantry one more time. This time, look past the boxes and the powders. Look for the classic cans of broth, chicken, beef, or vegetable. Pick one up. Turn it over and run your finger down the ingredients list. Look for the words canola oil, soybean oil, or vegetable oil. If you find them, you are holding the canned fake. Now, come back here and type one word in the comments. If you found a can of broth with these inflammatory oils listed in the ingredients, type this word right now, canned. Let's expose this final betrayal and show everyone that the most trusted product in the aisle has become the biggest traitor of them all. Look at the evidence we've uncovered together. The comments are flooded with shelf-stable, powder, and canned. You have seen the three faces of the fake broth industry, and you now hold the power of the jar test to see through their deception forever. But knowledge is only half the battle. The other half is action. It's time to leave the world of dead broths behind and step into the solution. It's time to give your body the authentic, living elixir it has been craving to support your joints, soothe your gut, and rebuild your vitality from within. The beautiful part is this: you don't have to become a full-time homesteader to get the real thing. There is a clear, simple path for everyone. You have 2 guaranteed routes to a powerful, living broth, and both will pass the jar test with flying colors, transforming from liquid to a firm, wobbly jelly right in your fridge. This is your choice, your protocol for genuine wellness. The first path is what I call the purist's path. Make it yourself. This is the ultimate method, the one that connects you directly to the ancient tradition. It is for those who love having complete control, who find peace in the ritual, and who want the deepest, most nutrient-dense result possible. The secret here is not complexity, but patience. You start with high-quality bones. Chicken feet are a secret weapon for incredible gelatin. Cover them with water, add a splash of something acidic like apple cider vinegar to help pull the minerals from the bones, and then you simmer. But here's the critical part: you don't simmer for 1 or 2 hours. You simmer for a full 24 hours. This gentle, prolonged heat is the magic key. It slowly, patiently coaxes every last bit of gelatin, collagen, minerals like calcium and magnesium, and other healing compounds like glucosamine and chondroitin out of the bones and into the water. You are literally transforming tough, inedible bones into a liquid treasure trove of bioavailable building blocks. The result is a broth so rich that when you cool it, it turns into a solid, rubbery gel you can literally turn upside down. This is the living elixir in its most potent form, exactly as nature intended, with zero compromises. Now, if the thought of a 24-hour simmer feels overwhelming, I completely understand. Modern life is demanding. That is why there is a second, brilliant path that delivers on the promise without the time commitment. This is the modern path. Buy it right. You can absolutely find a real, living broth at a high-quality grocery store, but you must know exactly what to look for, because it will not be sitting on the regular shelf. You must go directly to the refrigerated section. Once there, you are looking for a very specific phrase on the label, high-pressure processed, or HPP. This is the game changer. HPP is a revolutionary cold pasteurization method. Instead of using destructive heat, it places the sealed bottles of finished broth into a chamber that subjects them to immense water pressure, thousands of times greater than the atmospheric pressure. This incredible pressure neutralizes any harmful bacteria without using any heat at all. It leaves the delicate, complex structure of the gelatin and collagen perfectly intact. The living matrix survives entirely. When you find an HPP broth, you will notice its texture immediately. When you shake the bottle, it won't slosh like water, it will move thickly and sluggishly, a visual clue to the powerful gelatin content within. It is the closest you can get to a homemade broth without making it yourself, and it will pass the jar test every single time. These are your two paths out of the jungle of fakes and into the clear light of genuine nourishment. Whether you choose the purist's path of homemade control or the modern path of refrigerated convenience, you are making a powerful choice for your body. You are choosing a broth that doesn't just taste good, but that actually does good, providing the foundational support your joints need to feel fluid, strong, and comfortable again. You have the knowledge. You have the power of the jar test. You can spot the 3 fake broths from a mile away. But knowledge without action is just a theory. It's time to take that final, empowering step. You now have the power to spot all 3 fake broths. Now, let's make it official and build our community of informed shoppers. Right now, I am officially launching the pantry purge. I want you to press pause, walk to your kitchen, and open your pantry or cupboard. I want you to find one of these fake broths, the shelf-stable imposter, the powdered pretender, or the canned deceiver. Find it, hold it in your hand, and know that you will never be fooled by it again. Then, I want you to come back here and declare your victory. I want you to type these 4 powerful words into the comments. I found the fake. Be the first to comment, and let's show everyone just how widespread this problem is. Let's build this community and liberate our kitchens from this deception, together. To make sure you never have to memorize all of this, I've created a simple bone broth checklist, PDF for you. It has the 3 ingredients you must always avoid, the 2-word phrase you need to look for on a label, and a clear diagram of the jar test. This is my free gift to you for taking your health seriously. To get the instant download link, all you need to do is subscribe to this channel and look for the link pinned at the very top of the comments section. Now, you've fixed your nutritional foundation. The next step is to activate its power. In my very next video, I'm revealing the 1 joint support smoothie recipe that, when combined with your new living broth routine, can make a dramatic, noticeable difference in how you move and feel in as little as 14 days. You will not want to miss this. So hit the bell icon after you subscribe so you get notified the moment it drops. If this video opened your eyes, please share it with one person you care about. Let's spread this truth and help others take back control of their health, starting today. Thank you for watching, and I will be reading your "I found the fake" comments right now.